Here's another little set of code that I found online, and it says it's the joy of HTML5 audio, tips and tricks for easy sound embedding. And then you've got this smaller little heading that says controlling playback with JavaScript. You got this little player right here, and you've got these three buttons underneath: play music, pause music, and stop music. Okay, so doc type HTML, HTML lang equals en for English, head, title, HTML5 audio, controlling playback with JavaScript. You see that up here at the top. Meta, HTTP equiv equals content type, content equals text / HTML, char set equals UTF-8. A link, rel equals style sheet type equals text / CSS, href equals style.css. I didn't actually create an external style sheet, so this is basically a placeholder so that if I do create it, I already have the link set up here. And if I do create it, I'll take all these styles right here in between the style tags, and I'll right click it, copy it, and copy it into that style.css, and then just kill these style tags so that they won't be in the audio test.html file. But in the meantime, I do have my styles right here in the web page, so I'm going to read it. Button height equals height 60 pixels, font size 20 pixels, border radius 20 pixels, border 10 pixels, black outset. Okay, so all of these buttons, the green, the yellow, and the red, all three of these share these particular styles. Then each of them have their own unique background color. So for the ID of play button, you have the background color of green. For the ID of pause button, you have the background color of yellow. And for the ID of stop button, you have the background color of red. And you can obviously see those styles in front of your face. So there's the end of the style. End of the head, here's the body. Let's look at the elements in the page itself. You have a div right here. It's got a class equals wide box, and I don't have any style for wide box, but we're probably going to use it. And then I guess we don't actually use it. So I've got a class here, but I didn't set a style to it. So I could set a style to it. Inside that div, we have the H1, the joy of HTML5 audio, tips and tricks for easy sound embedding. So this H1 created that. Then you have an H2, which is a little smaller. It's a heading, but it's a little smaller in size. And in between that H2 pair, it says controlling playback with JavaScript. And div. So that div just basically covers both of these headings, the H1 heading and the H2 heading. Then you have this div ID of content that goes from line 26 all the way to line 43, and then there's your end of the body, end of the HTML, so it's the end of the page. But in this div that has the audio player and these three buttons, here's the audio tag. Audio ID equals my tune and controls. So you see the controls here so that you can hit play and you can move this back and forth, and then you could also move this volume. Then inside the audio tag, open and close audio tag, we have two things: source src equals chapter12.mp3 and source src equals chapter12.ogg. Now both of these audio files are in the same folder that audio test.html is in, so the path is direct. You don't have to put the name of a folder and then a /. You just directly pull the audio file itself because it's right next to audio test.html. Okay, so there's that, and then there's an HR tag, which means horizontal rule. That's how you get this little thin line right here that goes before and after the set of buttons. It's the HR. And here's the first button. Button ID equals play button. On click equals document.getElement by ID. My tune in single quotes and parentheses dot play. And then here on the face of the button, you see the text that says play music. And there's the end of the button. So there's that green button. the next one is going to do the yellow button. Button ID equals pause button on click equals document.getElement by ID mytune.pause. Pause music. And here is the third button. Button ID equals stop button on click equals. The click event for the stop button just does two different statements. The first one says document.getElement by ID mytune.pause and document.getElement by ID mytune.current time equals 0. And the text that you see on the button is stop music. So it pauses it and it also sets it to 0 so that when you hit play again, it starts the complete song all over again. And there's another HR, which is just another horizontal rule. So basically you've got a little thin line above the buttons and a little thin line below it. End div, end body, end HTML. So let's take a look at how it works. And this is all that you need. You don't need anything else, which makes it makes it kind of nice. So I can click this player, and you can't hear it, but I have my speakers playing some little random reading thing that I did. So that works. Now, how about if I click the play music button? It does. Close this. We'll play again. It's resuming where it left off. If I click pause here, it stops right at 19 seconds. If I hit play, 20, 21, 22, 23, hit pause, it stops at 24, hit play, 25, 26, 27, pause. Now if I hit stop, well, it was already paused, but it pauses it and it also takes it back to 0 starting place. So hit play again, you see 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hit stop, it pauses the playback and it sets it to 0. Alright, so that was pretty easy. You don't have to make buttons, but if you want to see the player, you can see the player this way. If you don't want to use the player, you could make buttons, or you could show both. You could have both of them on your page.